My country, the one that I was born and raised in, Soviet Union, started changing in about 1988. At least this was when I remembered the changes. All of a sudden, we started learning new things about our country, things that we hadn't known before. And both, you know, everywhere in the media, in the newspapers, on television, in the streets, and in school. Most of those things, they weren't pretty. Well, okay, all of those things, they weren't pretty. Pretty ugly. But the worst thing out of all of them was Russians murdering Russians. Stalin's big red terror that happened from the late 20s to early 50s. Almost 4 million of Soviet citizens fell victims of the big red terror. That was plain and simple the act of barbarity. That was quite a revelation that to me that our own people could do something like that to our own people. What was even worse, hang on. Knowing that, what was even worse, knowing that more than 4 million denunciations were written by the concerned citizens. More than 4 million people were ratted out by their colleagues, neighbors, friends, husbands, wives, even children. That truly is a black page in the history book of Russia. Ever since I remember myself, I, along with all people I knew, my family, my friends, my school buddies, were all despised those who snitched people out or ratted people out. In Russia, we call it to rat someone out. I'm not sure whether it's the right term in English, but I think snitching out is used more often. But to me, ratting out is the word that we have always used. So I'm going to be calling it ratting out. So we all despised people who were ratting out. That was the lowest act you could do, the lowest of the lowest you could fall, you know. Well, then all of a sudden, 1991 came and all was over. Just like that, overnight. I mean, all. Secret police, KGB, was gone, or so we thought. And ratting people out disappeared as a completely useless act. All we thought that, the black history, the black page in our history book was behind, over, and the book was closed. Again, so we thought. But here comes 2022, and Russia changes almost overnight. Again, just like in 1991. The change is different now. Now, this time, it's back to the old country, back to the old ways, back to the USSR. And guess what? Denunciations, Russians ratting Russians out, is back with a bang. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia. Great to see everyone. Here on this channel, I give you important news updates that explain what's really happening inside Russia. What you will not find on this channel is lies, propaganda, and BS. What you will find is common sense, truth, and logic, and some emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian For the first 30 or so minutes, I give you the usual message of the day, a topic I find important, and then I invite everyone to carry over to live stream chat where we converse and I answer questions. It's pretty hot here today. Without further ado, let's jump right into the message. When I learned of the Big Terror, my thoughts for the longest time were, wow, Stalin and KGB were animals. How could they? When I got older and more experienced, I started thinking this. It wasn't just Stalin, you know. He ordered the executions, but he wasn't the one pulling triggers and shooting people in the head like KGB executed them. And he wasn't the one writing all the denunciations, millions of them. I'm not saying he's, not guilty. Yeah, he's still animal, but it's not just him. There were millions of other Soviet people involved in that system and into those terrible actions. This phenomena, people ratting out people just for the sake of it, for weird, dark psychological satisfaction, for pleasure, that always freaked me out, because you gotta understand, back then, people, when they wrote denunciation letters to KGB, most of the times anonymous denunciation letters, they did not gain anything. They did not get any money for that. They did not get any recognition. Nothing. They did it for their dark pleasure. And that always freaked me out. I can't understand how people can do that. So, boy, I was so glad those times of ratting people out were over. All those crazy people who were snitching out, they were left in the past. They became thing of the past. And boy, was I glad. But you know what? It turns out that those psychos did not change. They merely pretended, at least some of them. They fell into lethargic sleep, so to speak, back in 1991, and in 2022, they all woke up. Denunciations are back. KGB is back. They were FSB for, some years, the Federal Service of Security, and for a long time, I didn't have a problem with that. They actually were doing their job. They were catching the bad guys, the terrorists, and so forth. But it turns out they didn't change. They were just pretending as well. They became the secret police again. Now, going after freedom-loving good folks. It has become a reality in Russia that we face every single day. The concerned citizens are back. It's actually quite unbelievable. Well, folks, instead of telling you about them, I'll give you a few recent examples and introduce you people who rat good Russians out to KGB in 2022 and in 2023. I call these people rats. Meet Timur Bulatov. Timur Bulatov calls himself a happy man. He's a father of 2 children. 17-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. He works as a jeweler. By profession, he's a blacksmith and a metal artist. He also mentions that he's Muslim, and he calls his activities moral jihad. According to Bulatov, a 19-year-old student, Olesya Krivtsova, was arrested in Archangel late last year. KGB classified her as extremist and terrorist. Olesya is suspected of discrediting the Russian army and justifying terrorism. By justifying terrorism, they probably mean that she's against the war. All because of her position on this special military operation That's how they call the war in Russia. She posted stories on Instagram, and I remind you, Instagram is considered the enemy state company. And she made reposts of other people posts in a private chat with her classmates. Timur Bulatov is quite proud what he's done, and he basically wrote a denunciation paper or letter or whatever, and based on his work, Alessia was arrested. Bulatov was very public about that. He claims to be fighting LGBT perverts and ethically unhealthy citizens. And I guess those citizens who oppose the war in Ukraine are considered ethically unhealthy. Okay. All right. Among his victims, there are artist Yulia Tsvetkova. And according to Bulatov, there are 20 more people right now currently are under criminal investigations after his letters, him writing them out to KGB. Folks, that's 22 lives broken altogether. Meet Irina. Irina has written 922 denunciations to KGB so far. That's according to her. She also went public. She actually has a working schedule, 2 days of ratting people out and 2 days of taking rest. She searches social networks and looks for foreign agents who have spoken in the media. And I remind you, anyone in Russia can be labeled as a foreign agent, and that limits that person's rights and freedoms by a great deal. And every time she or he makes some kind of a public statement, whether online in a social network or interview or whatever, there are implications. So she searches for those people who speak freedom. She reports everything that she does, she finds, she thinks does not fit with official Russian propaganda. She admits that snitching takes a lot of her time. She manages to watch more than 20 hours of recordings of foreign media broadcasts on YouTube every 2 days. Yeah, 10 hours a day. Among the resources that she watches, among the enemies or opponents, she names Dozhd. That's a media that fled Russia and relocated to Europe. Present Time, a foreign agent, according to a Ministry of Justice of Russian Federation. Radio Liberty, the German Deutsche Welle, and, a few others. So, it's not like people cooperate and give interviews and write articles in some kind of radical channels or radical resources. Deutsche Welle, for goodness sake, that's a great, one of the best news sources I get. But that is considered the enemy by her and by Russian state. Irina is the professional informer in my eyes. She indicates she's motivated by fear of the deterioration of her financial situation in the future. And she also admits that her grandfather worked as a secret snitch of KGB. Basically, he would just go into, a plant and be hired as a regular worker, and then he would be looking around what was going on and snitching people out as a secret sexot. That explains, that's how she explains the love of ratting people out. She actually loves doing that. Timur and Irina's stories are unusual because they went public. Not only they went public, they are very proud of their work. They're very proud of ratting people out. They're very proud of breaking people's lives. They're happy about that. Makes them, I don't know, makes them happy. But there are currently 20,000 politically charged cases against good Russians based on denunciations that were made to Russian government. Now think about this, 20,000 lives, 20,000 good people. We're looking at the seeds being planted right now. And we Russians, we know very well what happens when the seeds grow and when it's time to harvest. We've been there before. I'm very fortunate I personally didn't see it, but my grandfather did. Both did, actually, and they were scared to death of that. The Red Terror, the Big Terror, when people are murdered by millions, that's when the seeds that are being planted right now, that's when they grow. That's the harvest. And there's a lot of blood. 20,000 cases, political cases, based on snitches, people ratting people out. It means there are 20,000 rats currently in Russia, okay? We don't know who they are. They could be the neighbor next door. Well, we actually know quite a few of them because some of them, they go public. For example, this girl at a school, she drew a paper with the Ukrainian flag and word peace. She was immediately snitched out by the principal to KGB. Her father is arrested and charged and sentenced to 2 years in prison. The girl is, I think, in an orphanage right now. And her principal of her school is public about snitching out. Okay, so we know quite a few of them, but there are few. Tens of thousands of other ones are somewhere in the shadows. The feeling I get from this happening is very mixed. First of all, it's disgusting. I have not changed my opinion about rats. I can't stand them. I think it's the lowest you can fall. The thing is, this feeling was forgotten for a long time, for 30 years, and now it's back. It's like living a bad dream. Sometimes I wake up and I pinch myself, hoping that I wake up and everything is normal, but it's not. So the country is degrading under the current leadership, and it's degrading fast. And I mean, it's not just fast, it's degrading almost instantaneously. My question is, what's going to happen next? What are we going to leave behind us for our kids? What are we going to leave as memories? What are we going to be proud about of this time? I don't think that people of the 30s and, 40s, World War II, but late 20s and 30s, I don't think they were proud of anything. They were part of the Big Red Terror. Will Russia have another Big Red Terror in a few years? Of course, Stalin's times scale is not what is happening today. Back then, there were millions. Right now, 20,000. But again, these are seeds. They are being planted and they're growing. This is just the beginning. One thing that I find absolutely incredible is these people who snitch and come out public, they're my age. We went to school at the same time. The country was opening up, and we were learning. We were just appalled by the crimes that were committed in our country. Not just us in school, but our teachers. I saw it. I witnessed it right in front of my eyes. Our teachers were hurting as they were teaching us. We were asking them questions, and they were answering us, but they were hurting because they were learning same as us. Our parents, our neighbors, our family, all adults, we were confused and hurting. Not one person in the right mind back in the late 80s would consider snitching a good thing, would be considered being proud of snitching. This is just incredible. So these people who snitch, who rat out, there's something happened to them. They took a wrong turn on the way because they have become what we used to hate when the Soviet Union was falling apart. Folks, please learn. Look what's going on in Russia. Be scared because, don't let your government out of control. Because if you do, you might get the same situation in your country, no matter where you live and how democratic your country is right now. Because the example of Russia shows that it does not take long. It literally happens overnight under certain circumstances. Dear friends, thank you so much for listening. This has been my message for today. I would like to invite everyone to carry on to the live stream chat. Fantastic to see everyone. I had a little break of a few days. Well, I'm back to usual schedule, streaming daily at the same time. That is noon in LA, 3 p.m. in New York, and 6 p.m. in London, 6 or 7. I'm sorry, 8 p.m. in London. So everything is well. I'm physically exhausted after spending 4 days with my son running around and swimming and so forth. But I am mentally recharged, and boy, I have a feeling that I'm just getting started. So thank you so very much for coming, turning on the live stream chat, and fantastic to see everyone here. Thank you. I missed you. I missed streaming. I missed this whole experience. Looks like I'm getting addicted because I did not feel, although I went on mini vacation, micro vacation for 3 days, I did not feel relaxed. I did not feel, easy. It was some kind of a weird feeling. I wasn't streaming. I wasn't in front of my computer researching, and very strange. Anyway, I'm back, and it feels really, really good. Thank you. Somehow we came back, and this place wasn't air conditioned, and it's hot. It's gotten hot here. Lorna and Mommy, howdy, Black Ed, Bob S. Prince Amir and Harry are also with us in our hearts and our minds. Dear mods, thank you for coming again. Thank you, I missed you. In case you're here for the first time, know that this channel has the best mods on the internet. And the usual suspects, I missed you too. Dirk, Timo, Jesteri, Ken, Sion, Paula W, Irvin, Wanda, Amy, Jeffrey, Clark, Ptolemy, K. Paul, Dusty Boots, Sam K, Pamela J, Amanda, our back 820 guy, Liz, Tesla Vesa, howdy, Dan, Malti Daki, Magnus, Nixie, Ferrari guy, Tom W, Koshkin Dom. Koshkin Dom, you must remember quite a bit about what I was talking about. Do you recall, do you have any memories of late 80s when things like Archipelago Gulag started coming out, and Deti Arbata, and One Day of Ivan Denisovich, and all those wonderful books? Do you recall? What are your thoughts on that? Folks, if you want me to notice your message, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after that sign, so it appears highlighted in orange and I see it easily. Thank you so much. Leitmotif from Maryland, howdy. Angela McNaugh from it's too little, I don't see the sign. Angela. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing. England, right? The UK or Australia? No, I think Australia. I'm not seeing the flags for some reason. Andrew from South Africa, howdy. Team Wanderloo, hope you enjoyed your vacation. Welcome back. I enjoyed it very much. It was time to unplug. When I was coming, I thought, I would just lay there by the beach or swim in the pool days long. It didn't go as planned. I was running around most of the time trying to keep up with my son. He definitely had a good time. Well, I had a great time. It's just physically I did not rest. I need a vacation after a vacation. But I did unplug emotionally, and I saw so many things. I have enough material for like 15 streams, what I saw in Dubai. Too much to tell. Just keep on tuning in. I'll be giving you portions of. So one thing, it was good to be out of Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan is like an extension of Russia. I am in a community of 40,000 Russians here. I meet Russians every day. I, speak with Uzbek people, and they're like part of the former USSR. But Dubai, I was among the British, and I was conversing with the British, and I saw their outlook. I saw their attitude to me, and I saw quite a few Germans. Not so, I met, I communicated with them. Ukrainians too, and some Russians, of course. And my gosh, experiences I've got were putting tears into my eyes, some, and putting anger, others. Just stay tuned. I have much to say. So thank you, Tim. But every single day that I did not stream, I felt so weirdly strange and uneasy. I was going through withdrawal syndromes, I didn't like that. I like streaming. Misha Nance, thank you so much. I like streaming very much, I'm addicted to it. Guy L, what the fudge? Guy contacted Twinings and good news. Please explain, what do you mean? I brought myself 2 huge boxes of Twinings. I could not find Taylor of Harrogate, Yorkshire Gold. I looked for it, but I found Twinings English breakfast extra strong, extra flavorful. So I'm gonna try it soon. Can't wait. Dan, thank you so much. I missed you too. I missed all of you. Thank you. Koshkin Dome, thank you again. Slabla, did you hear about the pardoned Wagner convict who stabbed 2 people on the train home to Russia? I've heard more cases like that from Wagner. Probably enough to make a community post, not enough to make a stream, because what is there to talk about? Think about this. Last year, Prigozhin had a carte blanche, a permission to go to any prison in Russia. And he was handpicking first the hardcore criminals, murderers, thieves, rapists, cop killers. Yeah, he was getting all the cop killers. He was like, they were preferred crop, is it right? Crop, preferred people. Can you imagine? He was just yanking cop killers out of prisons. Child molesters. He even had one cannibal. He was so proud about it, bragging about it, you know. And then later, he ran out of those, and he was just vacuuming everyone else. So he basically got everyone out of Russian prisons, and a lot of those people died in Ukraine, and many are being pardoned, well, have been pardoned, and they're going back home. But guess what happens to the hardcore felons? Once they get back home, they commit the same crime. There have been like so many murders the Wagner people came home, within 2 or 3 days they murder someone, back to prison, you know what I mean? I wonder if they can yank them out of prison for the second time and pardon for the second time for crime, you know? So there's not much to say. I have heard, but there are at least, I'd say 7 or 8 cases like that in the last few days. So I made a stream about that in the past. A wave of crime has come into Russia, and it was absolutely crazy decision to do that. But Russia has become a crazy country, you know. White Lightning, thank you so much. We should all take time to pray for the 5 lives lost in the submarine implosion that happened exploring the Titanic. Death was 1 millisecond. So it's confirmed, right? They died. Because it's news to me. I know that there was a surge going on. Let's pray. Crusader Damien, Shoigu is the latest to issue nuclear threat against us. Is he to be taken seriously or just a criminal Kremlin running out of mouthpieces? My bet is he's just being a clown, just like anyone else who mentions nukes, threatening with nukes. Because one simple reason. You see, right now, Putin, Shoigu, Prigozhin, anyone else in Russia, they still have some chances. Some chances to maneuver. Some chances to prolong their grab of their power. Some chances. They have opportunities to go one way or another or negotiate, you know. But once they start nuking, they're done the very same second. That's the end of their lives. So I think just based on this fact, I think that is a false threat. You know, they have nothing else left to threat with. I think this is why. Super Rosie, thank you so much. Thank you. Willard and his rats. Thank you, Dave Strains. Justeri, hello. Isma, hello. Hello to you too. The Thought Police, George Orwell, again, leitmotif for me. You know, if George Orwell was alive right now and he would look at Russia, he would scream. Because Russia has become much, much worse what he wrote about. The only difference is you still can get out of Russia. For some people, you still can do that. but I don't think that's gonna last forever. Gael, Claire from Twinings Promotions Department is getting in touch, checking out your site with Twinings Tea Drank Daily. Wow, that's quite news. Thank you, Guy. If it's that your work, that I really appreciate. I drink Twinings every day. Promotion or no promotion, I will keep on drinking it every day because I love this tea. But if they somehow help me out, then that'd be just fantastic. By the way, on vacation, I drank so much tea because I was in a hotel full of the English people and run by the English management, British. I don't want to offend anyone, okay? I'm saying English, British, or the UK. I mean the United Kingdom. You know what I mean? Yeah, by the way, this is Twinings, regular English breakfast. And I always drink it after midnight in Uzbekistan. White lightning, isn't falsification of police report a crime in Russia? Shouldn't these snitches be punished? Punished? They're welcome. The new policy of the Kremlin, they love snitches. No one's getting punished for snitching. They should be. They should be punished. That's right. But also, Russia should have independent courts. Russia should have independent police who serves and protects people. Yeah, Russia should, but unfortunately it doesn't. And the snitches, not only they're not getting punished, I think they're gonna be glorified soon. I'm telling you, my country is turning into some freakish nightmare. Julie W., thank you so much. Missed you too. The withdrawal is subsiding. Steve, thank you so much. Howdy, howdy. My wife Heather was in the hospital, seriously ill. She's home now, but still not well. Hang on, I don't recall if she's on the list. I think she is. Just in case. Another question from the best source of questions of the site, Crusader Damien. Are the Russian commanders evil enough to sabotage ZNPP, the Zaporozhye power plant? Will they dare unleash a dirty nuclear bomb? It hurts me just to think how to answer this question. I wish I could say, no, they're not evil enough. But look what they've done to Novaya Kakhovka. I mean, this is not a nuclear plant, but the devastation is there, and it's ecological catastrophe. And so many so many lives were lost, so many people have been relocated, so many lives have been broken. They did this. I mean, who else? I hope they have enough sense. Not sense. It's not about sense. I hope they have enough humanity in them not to do that, because that'd be just insane. I am so disappointed. I'm witnessing the changes that have been happening to Russian people. Answering your question, I hope they're not evil enough. But Time will tell. Zaporozhye is a very dear city. We used to own a manufacturing plant there back like 20 years ago, producing power electronics, and I used to supervise that plant, sitting in Moscow office, going back and forth there. And a friend of mine used to work at Zaporozhskaya nuclear power plant for a long time. He's from nuclear energy industry. He joined us and he was selling power transformers and very good city, very good people. Just like I didn't feel foreigner there. I didn't feel foreign. It was like I was traveling to Rostov, kind of the same thing. How can we be at war with these people? My God, is this a bad dream or something? Mr. Ponowi, I'm sorry, I'm pretty bad with pronouncing names. Thank you so very much for your super chat. There's no message, but it says you're amazing. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Your message is very clear, loud and clear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. X-Flying Tiger, howdy, howdy. John and Nikki from Lake Shasta. Isabel, I became a twining addict because of Constantine. Hey, thank you. It's good stuff, isn't it? It's good. It's excellent. I brew it to perfection because every single evening I do the same procedure. I know exactly for how long to take how much boiling water, how much tea, for how long to leave it brewing, and it's so good now. Roy Cousins, howdy, howdy. Jens Jensen, it hurts. Still, my shoulder still hurts. Definitely running around and swimming and, do all kinds of active things with Michael didn't help my shoulder, that's for sure. But it gets better, just tiny little bit by bit. Susan Samuelson, howdy, from Sweden. Great to see you. Tom W. Rest, not really. Recharge, I'd say unplug from the news. I didn't watch as much news. I didn't have time. But yeah, I feel I'm fired up. I feel I'm ready to go. No way. You saw me on CBS this morning? Wow. I didn't see myself on CBS this morning. I hope I looked good there. The interview they took was very... Those guys, let me tell you, those guys are quite something. So the producer contacted me saying, Constant, can we speak on certain things? And I'm like, yeah, but sure. Let's say next Monday at this time. And I thought I'm about to meet the producer, and we discuss questions they want to ask. And, they would let me know what they want to know from me about Russia. And perhaps I could help them, I could not help them. So discussion. So I go live not live, but on a Zoom call, and all of a sudden this famous host, and she's like, "Let's do it." I said, "Wait a second, let's do what? I thought we were gonna discuss." No, 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 no. We're gonna record. And I see a huge camera, and I see they doing the screen recording and the whole 9 yards. I'm like, wait a second, guys, I'm not ready. At least give me a few minutes to change a shirt or something, because I was just up for just a conversation, and so it was absolutely spontaneous. They didn't let me. They hadn't let me. They hadn't informed me of the questions. Nothing. They would just. She asked me. She was very nice, very upbeat, fantastic lady. She would ask me a question, and I would answer it just right out of my head. So it'd be interesting to see. Interesting to see myself. They promised to send a link, so we'll see. But they rarely do. CBS, Sky News, NBC, who else? RT1 in Ireland. They tell you, oh, we'll send you the link afterwards. Don't worry about it. We'll inform you, and that's it. That's the last thing you hear from them. Angela, okay, Brit, thank you so much. I forgot. I was thinking Australia or the UK. Do these rats get paid? No, they do not get paid, and a lot of them are anonymous, and a lot of them hide the fact that they rat someone out. They get some weird pleasure, inner pleasure, for ruining someone's life, someone they know or perhaps don't know, but it's usually someone they know. Neighbor, a colleague, a successful neighbor, successful colleague. They write denunciation paper. Hey, have you read the very famous book? It's called Count de Monte Cristo. Okay. Same thing. The guy was not guilty, but his couple buddies got together and they wrote an anonymous denunciation report, and boom, Edmond Dantes went to prison for 12 years. That's how it works in Russia, 100%. Bossy, High K, see our local fuel stations get rebranded to Gazprom AX Caltex. Sounds a lot like a part of Gazprom from South Africa. Well, South Africa somehow is getting closer to Russia, getting closer ties with Russia, so I wouldn't be surprised. I have not heard of anything about Gazprom coming to South African market, but I will keep on looking. Frank in Texas, howdy, howdy. Fantastic to see you. Pinda the Peanut, howdy. Isabel says the entire world is meeting here. Yep, you are absolutely right. Christina from Canada, thank you so much. Wow. Distressed. Am I distressed? Well, I definitely had a good time. It's a rarity these days. I want to take another vacation, a big one, for a couple weeks in a couple months. I want to get my entire family together, just like I did in March. But that's still up in the works. I don't know whether it happens, when it happens, and where it happens. Clark Williams, thanks for giving the shout out. This is so fantastic to just live stream again. I missed it. I didn't feel easy without it, as you've become such a big part of my life. Like, how do I call it? Integral. Anyway, big. Krabby Winnie, did you get to at the Hotel California? I got copyright strike for the Hotel California. I was doing the live stream last Saturday for the sponsors and patrons, and we were playing music. I was playing music, and then we were having a good time. And one of the songs was Hotel California, which I personally love. But YouTube immediately striked it, and there's a new weird thing at YouTube. Okay, what happens is when it senses a copyright material, what it does, it stops translation. And then after that, for example, song is over, translation is on again. I don't know how they do that. Must be artificial intelligence. But used to be no interruptions. It's just after the stream, a few minutes, they send you, information that your video is not monetized. Channel is, you don't have a strike, but copyright notice and something like that. So you got to do something about it. But now they just don't show it, and they still give you a copyright strike. That was huge. What was huge? What? What are you talking about? What CBS morning show? Folks, I was on the impression they're gonna just run a small tiny piece somewhere. Wolfhound, my wife says you look good in blue-green. Thank you so much. I bought myself 2 new Boss shirts. How about that? One is white. I already have white. I love it. And the second is, we call it electric blue, like between blue and white, like bluish, light blue. I like it very much, so 2 more Boss shirts. What this about, CBS? I don't know. Joe's Rames, I don't know what this is about. Leslie Fleming from upstate New York. Live, howdy, howdy. Dave Strains, Constantine, maybe you're running the new anti-gravity plant in the next 10 years. I don't know about that. I don't run the plants. I'm not an engineer, okay? I'm an economist. I'm a manager. I'm an executive. My job was always business development. Basically, I would take a plant and then I would start thinking how to improve the performance, how to sell more, what to produce, what not to produce, and so forth. Basically that was my job. But I know pretty much everything. I got a postgraduate degree or a postgraduate course without a degree in energy on how power plants work from Moscow Energy Institute. That was quite a long program. So I know quite a bit about how the plants work. I know what turbines are used, what cycles are used, what technology is behind them, but I can't run the plant, I can be a commercial director, I'd say, or I can be the business developer. Oh, that's what I've always been, chief business development officer, CBDO. That's my title, but I'm not an engineer. Julie W. has just sponsored 5 people, sponsorships. Thank you so much. I'll be telling you a lot about my vacation on Saturday, day after tomorrow. That's when the private stream happens for sponsors and patrons. So if you haven't signed up, please do so. And thank you for Julie W. and Amra Makers for each gifting 5 sponsorships to people. Thank you so very much from me and from 5 people, each one of you. Black Cat, with copyright strike, do you lose super chats and memberships? No. That's not kind of a copyright strike. Copyright strike is a big thing. If I mess up royally, if I take someone's material and make it like my own, that's a copyright strike. What they do at live streams, when you just live stream and all of a sudden there's a song, playing and you pick it up. Let me see how they call it. It's not a copyright strike. It's hang on. A content that is protected by copyright law is found in your material. The owner allows to use that material, but the monetization of that particular video will be off. But I did not turn the monetization anyway, because monetization for patrons and sponsors is always off. I mean, I would really feel bad if you're already paying every month for being sponsors and patrons, and I would show you the commercials. So I always give you non-commercial content, not commercial streams, and it doesn't really matter, okay? If it was, if advertisement was turned on, then my stream would be forcefully, demonetized. So that just particular video, but it's already demonetized. I demonetized it myself, so not a big deal. Thank you, Black Cat. Eric Ackerley, thank you so much. From Canada, you don't have a message, but your message is very strong. Thank you, friend. Paula W., did you hear that many Russian military have gotten cholera from dirty water they caused? I did not hear about that, but it's predictable. There were rumors last year about cholera outbreaks in the cities that were razed by the Russians as they occupied Ukrainian cities and Ukrainian territory. But there were rumors. I don't know, confirmed or not, there were rumors from southern Russia that cholera patients were placed in the hospitals. Well, obviously, there wasn't any major outbreak last year, this year. But now, anything is possible, because from what I understand, in the front lines, there's chaos. Okay? And plain and simple, chaos. Anything goes. Diva Jens, we can make a list of all who snitches. Snitch the snitcher. Yeah, without me. The plant will be the size of your apartment. LOL. Thank you, Dave. I see. Okay. Now I understand. Tiny Dancer from California Oblast. Howdy, howdy. Are you of former Soviet Union descent? Because you spelled Oblast right. Mel Kazar, Steamcat, at Stream Start, you said that people wrote denunciation papers not because of profit. Looks like you missed that it was the only way to get more living space in communal quarters. That too, but I think that that was very rare occasions. Okay, it didn't work like that. Perhaps for some people, on some occasions, yes. But I don't believe they did it. Majority of the denunciation was done for that purpose. I don't think so. Mod Squad, I sent you all email with a link to KCBS video. Lorna, I did not see anything because I arrived and it was lots of things were running around, so I didn't check the email. I didn't see the, except for the ones I replied the messages. So, interesting. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Someone said it was good. Dragoon Phil 1, howdy. Frank in Texas, I remember when I lived in West Berlin and went to visit my grand aunt before the wall. She would not let me listen to the West German radio stations for fear of being ratted on. I mean, Frank, you know what I was talking about it today. The thing is, that system was terrible. Okay, that country was terrible. That behavior of people was absolutely terrible. And then things got better in 91. I mean, obviously we had troubles, but we had a shot. We had a shot of making our country the right one, a good one. We had a shot at democracy. And then somehow people resented it so much that they jumped on the first opportunity to go back. I don't understand. What the fudge is not, it's very, I want to say differently, if you know what I mean. Why? Why they want to go, well, they don't want to, they are back already. And they seem to be loving it. What? Ooh. I am glad I'm out. Nottingham, England. Marie Neeson, howdy. Jeffrey S. K should take you to UA to go hunt chickadees. Mr. Humor. Diana Smith, people are very complex. The pressure of this insane war are breaking down the civilized norm. All the dark fears that people have in their minds are surfacing. If you're talking about Russians, that's just part of it. It's not fears, it's dark pleasures, perhaps, because you don't write denunciation out of fear. You write denunciation to see your successful neighbor getting arrested and getting executed, and his life is over, or getting thrown to jail, everything taken away from him. And you get this weird pleasure out of it. This is why they do denunciations. This is why they rat people out. Just like this girl said, she saw her grandfather doing it in the USSR, and then I guess that's why she's loving it. She continues his legacy. Pueblo Tribe Native, howdy. Thank you for your support. And Travis Askew, thank you. There's a question. My fiancée is Russian, and I'm going to see her and her family next month. Should I be worried about her being seen with an American citizen? I am, but she says it's fine. It hasn't gotten that bad yet. It is fine to be seen with American citizen. She's right. I wouldn't worry. We were considering, not considering, but we were speaking with my wife Natasha and my mom of sending Jake and Sky, my kids, to Moscow than to Rostov to see my family. If I was in Russia at the time in March, I definitely would bring them there, and then perhaps we would travel someplace. But we were considering this option. But since I wasn't there, I wanted to spend more time with them. They came over to Uzbekistan. I don't think it's dangerous for Americans to travel to Russia, and I don't think it's dangerous for Russians to converse with Americans. It's not a crime, at least yet. Every time we ordered something at the restaurants in Dubai, and they were mostly British restaurants, they asked us, any food allergies we need to know about? And every time I answered, not yet, It's the same thing, not yet. Rick Sanchez, thank you so much, Rick, for gifting sponsorship to 5 people, raising this cup of tea. Thank you, cheers. Met an American lady from Chicago a few hours ago, flying out of Dubai, and I was buying something for Michael. He wanted a little present at the duty free, and I didn't have a boarding pass. My wife had it. She went to the other shop to get some cosmetics, and I was kind of stuck, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't pay for it. And the lady at the cashier desk, she said, well, why don't you ask someone else for their ticket? And there was a lady standing next to me, and asked, could I please use your boarding pass? I said, oh, okay, sure. So she takes out a passport, and that's blue, dark blue, American. And I asked her, well, where in America are you from? She said, Chicago. And I told her I lived in Maine, and she asked me where I was from. And I said I was from Uzbekistan. And every time people ask me where I was from, every time I said from Uzbekistan. One guy saw my passport, said, but you have Russian passport. I said, well, I moved to Uzbekistan, which is kind of true, but it sucks when you just can't really say, well, you can, but you feel ashamed saying, no, I'm from Russia, And then I met so many people from the UK. You guys are fantastic, so great. Shadow Realms, howdy. Bernard Monline, hello guys, seen my first chat with Germans, experienced it all too. Weimar Republic, you can read the results, was World War II, history repeats itself, we are currently facing World War III. Very sad to see as a German. Bernard, I think Bernard or Bernhard. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Look, I made a stream quite some time ago, and it's called Im Westen nicht Neues. Just like Erich Maria Remarque wrote his book, I read most of his works, and this is the red line that goes through all my streams and through all my analysis and all my assessments of the situation. I compare Russia of today to Germany of World War One. Okay, the Western Front. Same thing. Well, obviously different time, but same idea. And I know what's going to follow. I know economic collapse is already here. Although Russian government is denying it and saying everything is fine, it's here. you cannot deny what you see with your own eyes, what you can feel with your own hands, And the same thing will be happening. So you are so spot on, and this is, I know quite well. Another thing is I keep on thinking of Germans, and this is the only hope I have for Russia, actually. I keep on thinking to myself, if Germans were able to get over this terrible plague they had, and 15 years, all it took you 15 years. Willy Brandt came to Soviet Union, I believe in 1960, and he made the amends with the Soviet government, and that's when Germany ceased to be enemy. I was growing up, I never felt bad about Germany, although we were enemies at World War II. My grandfather both grandfathers fought in World War II, and one of my grandfather's brother was killed. But I was growing up, I never felt bad about Germany. I felt it was a great country, especially Western Germany, because, I had no illusions about communism, and I learned everything at age 12. And if you could do that, then we will be able to do, well, at least we have a shot of doing it too in Russia. Okay, and anyway, thank you so much for your statement. Hey, I like Germany so much, I married a German. Gary Black, thank you so much. You are amazing, Gary. Thank you. I apologize again. I deleted your message in one of the previous streams by mistake. Thank you so much for your support. Jason Carney. Jason, great to see you. The champion of supporting. Thank you. We actually, I mentioned to Natasha while we were on vacation. Thank you so much. Stephen, I'm not cut to be a politician, let alone president, I'm not a president. Cheryl, loved your last Silicon Curtain interview. Thank you so much. I really like the host of Silicon Curtain. Great channel, great guy. And we have decided to make interviews once a month or something like that. I think we're going to be doing my takes on Russian economy, my updates of the economy, how economy is doing. And I think I want to call it the Chronicles of the Demise, something like that. By the way, my next video is going to be about economy, the numbers. The numbers do not lie. I want to give you the numbers so you understand where Russia is at right now in June of 2023. Not a good place. Great Southern Land. Oh, that's not to me. Joao Marinos, no fudge bombs. I love fudge. What the fudge? Aspen English, you are national news. I don't know. Is it national? Cheryl, that was CBS USA. It wasn't Canada. It was very strange because folks contacted me from London and the host is from Australia, but it's CBS America. And I was in Uzbekistan and we were made a laugh about it, said only in America, Natasha from Emerald Land, howdy, howdy. Titan submarine that now announced everyone died. That's tragedy. Amanda, you need a marketing rep. I'll do it for free. What marketing rep? For what? I don't get it. Dave Strains, thank you. Have not watched the movie, but Angela McNaught, dear Lord, what can be gained? I don't know. That's just a freaking mystery to me. If you read the Count of the Monte Cristo, then this is exactly how it's done. They write, oh, this has come to our attention that this person, such and such, does not like what Russian government says about the special military operation. It comes to our attention that he's a bad guy. He's, he doesn't like Putin or something like that. Boom, to KGB. KGB says, oh, there's a signal. We must investigate. They start investigate, and of course they like, oh, this is enemy living among us, and that's it. Person is locked up just like that. They don't care if you guilty or not. They need to have a signal. They open criminal investigation. They convict you, and they charge you. They convict you. That's pretty much it. Everyone's happy there. Everyone gets perhaps at KGB people get new rank promotion, or perhaps bonus, or perhaps KPI or something like that. So they're happy. But the ones who rat people out, they don't get anything. Anna, thank you so much. Susie Mailer, wow, this is very nice of you. Diva Jens, again, I don't want to rat anyone. I don't care. There are services who keep track on what happens in Russia. Okay. By the way, there's a task force in Uzbekistan right now. There's a task force in Kazakhstan right now. American task forces that are investigating on who is helping Russian companies, Russian individuals to dodge sanctions. Okay, so I can tell you that much. Mikhail, hopefully in 20 years, Procurator Wilford's son will be ashamed and fix Russian society once again. That's one of my favorite books, Count de Monte Cristo. Steve Hayes heard Prigozhin has F-35. That is not true because, well, it is a lie. F-35 jets, they do not exist. They exist on paper. I've seen one of them, but anyway, to make a long story short, there aren't not F-35 jets, but I think there are Su-35, Su-35 jets, and there are none. Not in the Russian army. Not I mean, Prigozhin, he's feuding with the Russian army. Where would he get the jets from? Love the shirt color. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you so much. I have another one. Light blue. Oh, I love it myself. Tom Can, new shirt. I've had it for some time. I just don't wear it that often. Paul Johnson. Howdy from the Isle of Wight, UK. Enjoy your shows. Keep the chin up. Thank you so much, Paul. Fantastic to have you here. Darla, thank you so much. I missed you too. Time is up, says Nightbot. I'm seeing it. Thank you. Hang on. Brian, thank you. Thank you so much. Sending love back. All right, folks, let's wrap it up for today. I'm so glad that I'm back. And let me tell you, I have something to share with you. Not only I unplugged, I plugged in. Every time I get outside into the the world full of enemies, the Americans, the British, the Germans, the French, I see things differently, and every time I come up with new thoughts, I'm gonna share some. Please stay tuned. I'm pretty sure you will find it interesting because the stuff is just incredible, what I'm about to share with you. I invite everyone to finish the stream with a prayer. As usual, I prayed myself with Michael and Natasha. I prayed for everyone on my list, but it's time to pray, all of us. So thank you so very much for coming, and it's absolutely fantastic to see you. Hang on 1 second. I would like to mention somebody else. Just give me a second. There was a prayer request from someone. Anyway, I'll find it. Dear friends, please join me. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you so much for giving us these lives. Thank you for putting food on our tables and roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the sky above our children's head peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children in the way that when they become adult, they will make this place a better world and they will do a better job running it than we have done. Please, for now, keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and its people suffered so much. Please, they need a break, they need peace. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who are responsible and capable of making the decision to stop the bloodshed. Fill their hearts with love, with remorse, with mercy, with empathy. Wake them up from the lethargic sleep they've been in for the past 17 months. Have them see what they have done by their decision, so they will see everything and make decision to stop the bloodshed. Dear Lord, please help every single person in Ukraine who has been affected by this terrible tragedy and crime. Answer their prayers and make their dreams and wishes come true. Please send angels to everyone in Ukraine so the angels keep people out of harm's way. Dear Lord, please help my country, Russia. Assemble your strongest army of angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, and send them to earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country. Please have angels run Russia, make it good, make it peaceful, make it good neighbor to all the neighbors. So Russia is, comes back to the world, not as a threat, not as an enemy, but as a partner. Please do so. Please send help to everyone who is traveling right now. Send safe travels, please. Please help everyone who is seeking for asylum, especially families. Answer prayers and grant wishes of people. Please help the hungry, the homeless, the sick, the jobless, the depressed, the ones with low self-esteem. Shine your heavenly light upon those people so they feel better about themselves, they feel better about life, they feel better in general. They have love from you in their hearts, and they will have a chance to lead a happy life again. Please help everyone in need. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is helping Ukrainians right now. Help the Ukrainians who have been affected by current situation with the strikes executed by the Russians. Send help their way. Please help those who are suffering from the aftermath of flood that happened after the dam of Novaya Kakhovka has been blown up. Please send your help and your angels to help everyone out. Please help single mothers who are raising their children and struggling to make the ends meet. Send help their way. Please help the souls of people who died on a submarine while diving to Titanic, and help their families, the loved ones, to go through this hard time and tragedy. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us into this online community. Thank you for allowing us to congregate here. Thank you for allowing us to pray every single day together. So I am asking you to help everyone who's praying along with me right now, or simply watching us pray. Please answer every prayer and make every wish come true. Thank you so very much. I would like to ask for a few people who need your help. Please help. They are Heather, Vasilian Lubomirov, Susie Mailer, Hannah, Yorkie Mom, Julia Haney, Paul, James Gentz, China Bill, Sarah Stokes, Linda Trombley, Margaret, Frank in Texas, Greg, Jim and Shirley Hall, Ann Larson, her family, and daughter Hannah, Florentina, Max family, Patty L, Sherry Morin, CKOC, Liz Dumbrell and her grandparents, her family, Amir's uncle Dicky, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Ruth, Alona and her boys, Susan, Paul, Rudy Kaisley, Darla, Santa's Whiskey, Paula McDonald, White Lightning, George Ruberty. Thank you for helping and showing your glory to him and to all of us. Dave Strains, Pam, Wayne, Shirley and Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik and his mother, the Highwayman, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Chorizo and family, David Porter, his wife and daughter, and all people in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Boss Simon, Alvin's sister, Teresa D, Outlander, Garcia, Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe and Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Deanna and her family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Joel, Life, Karine Vasser, Pamela J, Lindsay, Brittany S, Larry, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Karen, Jamie, Michael Milkevitz, Paul Beans, Richard, Mallory M, Dirk Misler, Linda, Terry, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, and Scan Family's grandson, Joy, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, Yuri, and everyone in Mykolaiv, Harry's family, please send Harry's safe travels to, Verlinda's niece, and James, Doug, Gaby Hyman, King Nero, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade Kaltenberg, Allison Dave Moyers, Maureen M. and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Bob, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Cumbrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Maggie, Vladislav and Sergey, Susie Mailer, a mass paramedic Liz, Gina and Wayfarer, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, Thomas Fall's mother, and I'd like to ask for special children. They're Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Ava, Maddie, Karin Vasser, niece, and Ansley. Please show your glory, send them recovery, make them feel good, and give their parents strength to go through hard times. Also asking for all children of Ukraine and Russia who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. And please send recovery to all children in the world who are not feeling well right now, and take care of them and their families. Thank you so much, dear Lord. Jesus Christ, Amen. My friends, incredibly good to be back. Incredibly good to send you a message, share what I think about situation in Russia, and incredibly good to have you converse and pray with me. Thank you. This has definitely become a huge part of my life. And you're fantastic. You're rock and you're awesome, and I missed you so much, all of you. Thank you, and before I sign off, and I want to say that please come back tomorrow, will be another message, quite powerful one. And before I sign off, please, as usual, say along with me out loud the following: Carthago delenda est.